Hi guys, what's up? In this video, I'm going to be surviving 50 days in survival Minecraft, recreating LDShadowlady's empire from Empire's SMP. And I'm not doing this challenge on hard because I know. So without any further delay, let's get started. On day 1, firstly I made a crafting table, then I started searching for sheep. I killed 3 sheep in order to get 3 wood for a comfy bed. Then I crafted a bed to set respawn point and to prevent all those hostile mobs that were willing to kill me on that world. After that I provided myself a full set of wooden tools and the sun went down. And that was the end of for day 1. On day 2 I went for a little caving and mined some coals and irons. It wasn't too late when I realized that I hadn't found any ocean biome yet. So I started finding an ocean biome and I searched for an ocean biome a lot. But finally, when I reached here, I started smelling salty water of the vast ocean. Then there I found out a very small island where I could barely fit. But that was the place where I was supposed to be living. As the sun went down, I placed my bed up there and that was the end of our day 2. On day 4, I went for collecting some stacks of dirt for all those lily pad islands that I was going to make. I collected 8 stacks of dirt. Luckily, the Misa biome was so near. I went out there and collected some stacks of terracottas. Then I turned it into green color, and that was the end of our day 4. On day 5, I had everything that was required to make a lily pad island. I made a lily pad island, and that was no doubt so difficult to make us again and again. I was just drowning into the ocean. But after a lot of struggle, I made a base of our first lily pad island. Then I placed terracottas around the lily pads, just like as Lizzie did, and that was the end of our day 5. On day 6, I placed my comfy bed and my crafting table on the suitable place. Then I crafted an unnecessary campfire just to light up my lily pad island. Then I gave life to my lily pad island by bone milling it. I also placed some logs around the campfire just to give it a theme. After that, I realized that I was out of food, so I went out and killed cows and sheep, as many as I could. And that was the end of our day 6. On day 7, I decided to make 2 more lily pad islands. It took whole day of Minecraft because as I said, making lily pad islands was so difficult as I was drowning again and again. But at the end of the day, the results were satisfactory. On day 8, I decided to make a farming area on my one of the lily pad island as Lizzie did in her empires. I crafted a hoe and made the land able to culture it. But then I realized that I didn't have any seeds. So I went out for the search of the seeds. It took me almost whole day, but I reached to my island safely and planted the seeds on my farming area, and that was the end of our day 8. On day 9, I realized that the growth of my farm was too slow, so I decided to bring some bees. I went out for the search of the bees. I got honeycomb from there. I crafted a beehive for the bees that I was going to be cultured, and then I placed it on my farming area. And guess what? That was the end of our day 9. On day 10, I went out for the search of the bees. I searched them a lot and finally I found some enjoying their lives. But then I manipulated them and made them follow me. Then I bred them with flowers and I shook out when a baby came out. And in the end of the day, I had a cute bee family. On day 11, I started feeling weaker as it was day 11 and I hadn't had any armor yet. So I collected my stuff and went out for the long caving trip. I spent 2 days of survival Minecraft just collecting some stacks of irons, diamonds and golds. After that I went back to my salty ocean and that was the end of our day 13. On day 14 I made myself a complete gold armor and just look how wonderful I was looking. Then I decided to make an enchanting area, so I collected some stacks of sugar canes and killed some animals for a stack of leather. And guess what? That was the end of our day 14. On day 15, I crafted some shells for our enchanting area, and it wasn't too late when I realized that I didn't have any obsidians. And obsidian is needed to craft an enchanting table, so I went out for the search of the lava. I found lava in a dark, deep cave. Then I put water on lava and mined some obsidians. And that was the end of the day, and I was so happy as I had enough obsidians that I would ever need in my life. On day 17 and 18, I woke up day and night killing mobs for XP. On day 19, I provided myself a full set of fresh diamond armor as my gold armor was about to be broken. Then I enchanted my diamond armor with gold enchantments till I spent all my XP levels. And then I was glowing. After that, I decided to transport some villagers. I went out in the search of the village to do my evil things on them. Then I found a village, I noted the coordinates and returned back to my island safely. And that was the end of our day 19. On day 20, I took boats and leads and went out to steal some villagers. When I reached there, any kind of meeting was ongoing, so I just took 2 villagers when nobody was looking and transported them to my lily pad island. And that was the end of our day 20. On day 21, I made some marketplace stalls for my villagers as Lizzie did on her empires. I kept them in the cage with beauty. I made one villager a farmer because I thought that I might need some emeralds in the future. And that was the end of our day 21. On day 22, I decided to have some name tags for my villagers. I crafted some fishing rods and did fishing all day. And in the end of the day 22, I had 9 name tags with lots of junk. I knew that it was a night time, but I went out to deposit my junk to land, just like as land people do with the mighty ocean. And that was the end of our day 22. On day 23, I realized that I was recreating Ocean Queen's empire, but I hadn't had a single axolotl yet. How shameful! So I crafted some buckets of iron and went out in the search of the cutest predator, the axolotl. It took whole day of Minecraft, but at the end of the day I was so happy as I had 3 axolotls. Then I just kept them in the chest forever and the sun went down. On day 24, I decided to build Prisma Palace just as Lizzie did in her empires, but no doubt, I was so afraid of making coral roofs. Firstly, I listed all the things that were required to make a Prisma Palace tower. The first thing that was required was cobblestones and mossy cobbles. So I decided to collect 8 to 10 stacks of it. I went for it. I mined cobblestones whole day, and at the end of the day, I had 11 stacks of cobblestones. On day 25, I decided to collect some mosses, so I went out in the search of the shipwrecks, as mosses are usually found inside the shipwrecks or inside any treasure. Luckily, I found a shipwreck, I looted it, and fortunately, there was a moss. Then I brought that to our island, and the sun went down, and that was the end of our day 25. On day 26, I realized that I couldn't make such a big tower without an elytra. But I couldn't even supposed to go to the end city as I hadn't gone to the nether yet. So I just decided to get some scaffoldings instead of elytra. So I went out for the search of the jungle biome for bamboos, but sadly I couldn't find any bamboos. So I just returned to our salty ocean, and that was the end of our day 26. On day 27, I packed my bag and went for the search of the bamboos. It wouldn't take too long when I got distracted by horses. Luckily, after a long journey, I found out bamboos. I collected some stacks of bamboos and returned back to our ocean. And that was the end of our day 27. On day 28, as I had almost a stack of strings, so I crafted scaffoldings as much as I could. Then I took 3 moss blocks and went out for the destruction of land. I grew mosses by bone milling it and collected it until I got a stack of mosses. And that was the end of our day 28. On day 29, I made a rocky base of our Prisma Palace tower. No doubt, it was so difficult because again and again I was just drowning into the ocean. I was just falling into the ocean. And that was a pretty basic structure that I had built at the end of the day 29. On day 30, I gave a little textures to my rocky base with mossy cobbles and some other stones. I also gave some outgrowths to the base as Lizzie did to make it look more natural. On day 31, I built another small lily pad island. I gave it some life by bone milling it, and then I made another portal there. Then I decorated it with things that I had, and at the end of the day, the nether portal was looking just amazing. On day 32 to 37, I collected all my stuff that I would need in the nether. Then I went inside the nether. It was really so horrible, but I had to do it for quartz. I spent 5 precious days of survival Minecraft just collecting quartz shards, and I collected an inventory full of quartz shards. Then I returned to my beautiful salty ocean. When I got there, it was night of our day 37. As I was so tired, I just got sleep on my comfy bed. On day 38, firstly I crafted quartz bricks, then I started building the walls of my tower with quartz bricks. It took whole day of survival Minecraft as the tower was quite bigger, but at the end of the day, the result was satisfactory. On day 39, I harvested my wheat field and bone mealed it, then again harvested it, then again bone mealed it, then again harvested it, then again bone mealed it, until I got enough wheat for trading. After that, I went to my farmer villager and traded with him until I got a full stack of emeralds. And that was the end of our day 39. On day 40, I brought silk book from a greedy librarian. Then I enchanted my diamond pickaxe with silk touch. After that, I started mining living corals. And literally, it took 2 Minecraft days to collect all those living corals that were required to make our living coral roof. On day 43, I went out to find an ocean monument. Luckily, the ocean monument was not as far as I expected. I noted the coordinates and that was the end of our day 43. On day 44, I went out to Ocean Monument for Prismarine. When I reached there, I used my water breathing potion and started collecting as much Prismarine as I could. Till the end of the day, I had collected stacks of Prismarine blocks. After that, I kept them inside the chest for the next day. On day 45, I took all my prismarine blocks from my chest and built a basic structure of the rooftop of the tower, just like as Lizzie did in her empire. And at the end of the day 45, the structure of roof turned out amazing. On day 46, I decided to make a staircase of this tower. I took prismarine and quartz for that. I tried to make a staircase as spiral as I could. Then I placed quartz bricks at the sides of the staircase, and that was the end of our day 46. On day 47, I took my living corals and some buckets of water for the roof. Then I climbed up to the top of the tower with the help of the scaffoldings. After that, I unleashed the salty ocean water and tried to be careful as much as I could. And then I spent my whole day just making this indescribable coral roof. On day 48, my tower was almost ready and it was looking so good. My goal for this day was to make an axolotl house inside the top of our tower. So I took my prisoners and some sea pickles from my chest. Then I lighted up the tomb and decorated it with the things that I had. And then I just thrown my all the 3 axolotls inside the cage. But after that I just lost my all the 3 axolotls and I cannot tell you how. You greedy little thing, you will be in this cage forever. What? You can talk? Then I just killed all the three axolotls because I didn't want to live my whole life inside of that cage. I was scared. After that, I just decided to never ever tame any axolotl. And I think that the day 48 was full of chaos. On day 49, I went out in the search of the parrot because I wanted to kill a parrot. After a long journey, I just found out a parrot, then I tamed it. I manipulated him and took him to my salty ocean and decided to kill him in the next day. On day 50, I was fully prepared for a murder. That parrot had a strong belief on me. He thought that I was his friend, but he wasn't aware of my evilness. So I just pushed him into the campfire and this happened. So guys, this was my 50 days of survival Minecraft video. Hope you like this video. If you want me to make another part of this video, then let me know in the comment section and I shall see you next time.